Nick speaking, and welcome to this video. Right, day 19 of the WarbossTae Painting Challenge. Now gone in and I've managed to wash the bone colour with that flesh wash. It took me about 3 hours in total, so not too bad. Took my time, obviously tried to control the wash as best I could. It's obviously quite difficult controlling washes, especially on flat areas, but overall I'm pretty happy. So I'm going to just give you a very quick rundown, try and keep today's video a bit short after yesterday's marathon one. But yeah, this is how the bone colour is looking. Really happy with it. Now obviously it is going to benefit from a highlight. Now my plan is to move on to the next stage now, which will be the freehand, and then once I've got hopefully some time left at the end of the challenge to go in and do some of the extra highlights or details, as I'm calling it, and one of those details will be a bit of a highlight on that bone colour. I do have this natural highlighting from the wash, so it does look pretty cool, but obviously it could definitely benefit from an extra highlight. But as this is just tabletop quality army, you know, even if I didn't do anything else with it, I think it would be absolutely fine, you know, as it is. So just quickly run over the rest of these. That's the scourges at the back, and obviously the grotesques. So that is how the wash is looking. Right, so there's something else I want to talk about. Not actually the freehand, which is the next stage, but the stage after that actually, I want to talk about the bases. Now, I think you pretty much can tell exactly how this army is looking. This is basically primarily the colour, so I need to work out what base colour to go for. Now, some of the models already have sand on the bases, and there's a few rocks actually here and there. So I've got to base them, or I've got to theme the base around the fact that obviously we're going to be using primarily sand on the base. So I suppose ultimately all I really need to do is pick the colour for the base. So guys, I would really appreciate some suggestions. What colour do you think I should do the base? Now, I'm sort of thinking myself, I'm not sure exactly what colour, but I'm thinking some almost like dead grass might be pretty cool. So obviously my normal Eldar, I've got like green grass, green flock. I was thinking some brown flocks and brown grass might be pretty cool. As for the actual stone or the rocky colour, I'm not sure. The rocks at the moment on some of the models, which ones? Oh yeah, the scourges. Let's see if I could pick one out. Zoom in over there. So the scourges have the same kind of brown sort of effect on their rocks. I was actually thinking of keeping that. So I was thinking of using that brownie colour on the actual rocks themselves. Just have a different colour on the base for the sand, and then just add a little bit of brown flock. But I'm really open to suggestions on this. So any suggestions, you know, much appreciated. Right, okay, so that is it for the army update. Let's do the question. So today's daily question is, what is your favourite science fiction or fantasy movie? Why? If you want to choose a franchise, Harry Potter, Star Wars, etc., choose only one and talk about why it stands apart from the others. Okay, so that's a real tough question. I do love my movies. It's one thing that I do enjoy. Picking out a favourite is really tough. Obviously you all know Star Trek is my thing, so I mean in terms of the franchise, Star Trek would be my most favourite. And although I do absolutely love all the Star Trek films, I don't know necessarily a Star Trek film would be my favourite out of all the films. You know, there are so many good ones. I mean, it's just too many to pick. I mean, I like Back to the Future series. I like Matrix, the first one. It's just too many fantastic good films. You know, Terminator, Terminator 2, just so many. I suppose ultimately, if I have to pick one all-time greatest film, it's gonna have to be Star Wars. The first one, Star Wars. Yeah, I mean, I was 5 when that film came out. I've grown up with it. Had all the original figures, sold them all. Yeah, unfortunately, I got to I think I was about 14, and I wanted like a record player. And yeah, I sold all my Star Wars figures. I remember I got £1 each, and yeah, I really regret that now. But anyway, yeah, so Star Wars, it's a classic. It's the film I've probably seen the most. I think I've seen it, I would guess, probably 200 times in total over the years. But it never tires. It's just such a classic. So yeah, I'm going to say Star Wars. And that's not taking anything away from my Star Trek, which ideally, you know, is my beloved thing. But you know, I don't think anyone could deny me saying Star Wars as probably the greatest film ever made. Okay, so that's it for me. Tomorrow I'm going to have a look at doing the freehand. I've got to do some planning first before I start painting, so we'll see how we get on. But I've got 3 days left now of week 3's challenge, which was to do the bone colour and start the freehand. So I'm feeling quite comfortable. I'm going to take my time with the freehand, and then obviously in the last week it will be finish the freehand, do the bases, and then do any extra detailing for any time that I've got left over. So the challenge is going well. Lots more to come though. Thanks for watching as always. I'll see you tomorrow.